Hi everybody, I'm going to work through the practice problems on naming benzene derivatives. So here it goes. This first problem here, what I notice is a benzene ring right here, and coming off of that benzene ring is a propyl group. So I'm simply going to call this propyl benzene. And just like in ring systems, if there's only one branch on the benzene ring, I don't need to give that branch a number. So this benzene ring contains two groups on it. There's an ethyl group and there's an iodo group, I-O-D-O. So I'm going to name them in alphabetical order. I also notice that they're directly across from each other, so we say that they're in the para position relative to each other. So I can call this para, or just P, and then ethyl, iodo. Notice there's no spaces or dashes there, followed by the word benzene. Alternatively, you could name this 1-ethyl dash 4 dash iodo, I-O-D-O, benzene. And either of those names is perfectly acceptable. This example here contains a common root. Here it is right here. A benzene ring with an OH group on it is called phenol, P-H-E-N-O-L. And then coming off of that phenol group is a butyl group. Now because this is a common root, this carbon right here on the benzene ring is automatically defined as carbon number 1. So that puts the butyl group at carbon number 3. So I would name this 3-butyl phenol. Another way that you could name this would be to notice that the OH group and the butyl group have one empty carbon between them. So they're in the meta position relative to each other. So another way you could name this would be M for meta, butyl phenol. And that's it. This molecule here also has one of those common root names that you should memorize. This is toluene, T-O-L-U-E-N-E. And coming off of that is a bromo group, B-R-O-M-O, and also a chloro group, C-H-L-O-R-O. Because this benzene ring here has more than 2 substituents on it, or more than 2 branches coming off of it, you must use numbers here. In other words, you can't use ortho, meta, and para. So I'm going to definitely number this ring. Because toluene makes up this parent, I'm going to call this carbon number 1, where the methyl group is. The bromine is right next to it, so that'll be carbon number 2, 3, 4, 5. So the chloro is at carbon number 5. So the way that you would name this is just to put the branches in alphabetical order. So I'll start with the bromo. It's 2-bromo dash 5-chloro toluene, T-O-L-U-E-N-E. Now, alternatively, if you wanted to, you could name this another way. So I'm going to erase this and I'll show you that to you in a second. So the other way to name this is to just use benzene as the parent, not toluene. And if you do that, I would use this numbering system. I would call the bromine carbon number 1, because you're going to name it first. It's right next to this methyl group, so that'll be at 2, and that puts the chlorine at carbon number 4. So I would name everything alphabetical order. You've got a bromine at carbon 1, so that's 1-bromo dash 4-chloro dash 2-methyl, and we'll use benzene as the parent. So 2 alternatives to name that compound. These last 4 problems just give you practice in drawing these benzene compounds. So pentyl benzene is simple to draw. You're just going to draw a benzene ring, which is this hexagon with alternating single and double bonds, with a pentyl group coming off. So you need a 5-carbon branch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it doesn't make any difference which carbon on the benzene ring you'd make that pentyl group coming off of. Another way that I really like to draw benzene is I just like to draw it like this. So I'm showing that aromatic ring system, and then I'll put my pentyl group coming off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. So for orthodichlorobenzene, I'm going to draw benzene. I like to draw my parent first, put that aromatic ring system in there, and then right next to each other, ortho to each other, I'm going to put 2 chlorines. So aniline is one of those common root names. Draw a benzene ring, and then put an NH2 on it somewhere. That's defines aniline, the sum of all those together. And then in the meta position relative to the NH2 group, so that means either here or here, it doesn't really matter which, you're going to put a bromine. So I'll just put it up here. That's meta-bromoaniline. Here's the last molecule. I'm going to draw benzene. That's the parent. And coming off of carbon 1 and 2, I'm going to put methyl groups. And then in position number 4, I'm going to put a chlorine. So this is another compound that you could have also named, could have also been named as a toluene, but it looks like they just went with naming it using methyl groups. Notice that here there was no ortho, meta, or para because there's more than 2 substituents on the ring. So good luck with the homework. I hope this helped a little bit. I'll see you guys in a couple days.